My name is Ali. I was born in 1953 in a small village 25 kilometers south to Hebron called Idna. I am a descendant of a Palestinian refugee family who was forced to leave their small village in Palestine on 28th October 1948. I grown up listening to stories continuously from my parents, from my relatives, and from other villagers. Continuously, they used to speak about their house, their trees, their olives, their figs, their cactus trees, their bees, their cattle, their sheep. They used to speak about the annual crop they used to get from their land. And also they used to speak about the relations with other villagers and with other villages, with Jews around them, how David used to come to our village and to sell jewels to the women in the village, how others they used to trade with Jews in Jewish villages and in Jaffa and Tel Aviv. And suddenly how in 1948, in October 1948, how suddenly that small peaceful village was attacked by the Zionist militia. The people, they left their village thinking that this is a matter of 1 or 2 weeks. They simply closed their house and they took their keys with them and fled, looking for a safe place just a few kilometers from their village. Unfortunately, that took them until now 67 years. People were confident that the international community, through the UN resolution, they will guarantee and they will implement their right of return to their homeland. I grown up with this dream. The situation of my family in that small village was very difficult. They were very poor. They were living in a miserable situation, and my father, as a farmer working as casual laborer in the farms of the other, he could not sustain us, and he has to move to a refugee camp run by UNRWA in a place called Bir Zayt. And I was lucky to go to UNRWA school at that time, and at that time UNRWA used to provide us with food, morning breakfast, hot midday meal. They used to provide us with clothes, shoes, and also books. I finished my primary education in UNRWA school. Then in 1967 we moved to Amman. We stayed for 1 year in a camp, in a refugee camp, which was called Temporary Emergency Refugee Camp. Then my family moved to Amman, and my father continued to work as a farmer also to sustain us. I finished my secondary education in 1970. My father has no means to send me to continue my university studies. My extended family decided to invest on me. I was almost a project of my family to do. Then they decided to support me. All my extended family support me, and I went to Spain to continue my studies, and I decided to go for a medical education because I realized since I was a child how miserable is the life in refugee camps, and I could contribute to the improvement of the health of my people. And that, in fact, was my dream, to finish my medical studies and return to work in refugee camps. I have to work in Spain as a waiter in different hotels and different places to cover part of the cost of my studies. When I finished my studies, I returned to Jordan, and I tried to get a job with UNRWA at that time. That was not possible because it was not easy. And I was in dire need of getting additional income to support other members of the family. I went to Saudi Arabia. I get a job with Saudi Arabia. From that work, I earned some money with which contributed substantially to the improvement of my overall family. I sponsored the education of several members of my family. Then after that, I returned back and I joined UNRWA in 1988. Since that time, I have been working with UNRWA. In fact, I owe UNRWA everything in my life, my education, my survival, my employment, and for that we consider UNRWA as responsible for the well-being of and the achievement achieved by the Palestinians. Nowadays, my hope is still to return back to my homeland. I transferred this hope to the new generation, to my sons and daughters, who also had the opportunity, because I am becoming in a good economic situation. I afforded them a good education, and now they are well educated. I have three members of my family, which is 7. They are medical doctors, and one of them, he is continuing his postgraduate studies in the United States. You know, for us, for the Palestinian, education is a priority, is the most important investment for us to survive and also to change the life. And to see this right of return implemented, this right of return which has been taken 67 years ago, to allow people of Palestine to return to their native towns and villages and cities, to live like other peoples in the earth, to live their fully productive life, fully dependent on themselves, not fully dependent on international aid like what's happening nowadays. I like to see my people living a peaceful environment with all the people around them, with all the nations around them. We can do that because Palestine used to be a multi-ethnic, multi-religious, diverse society living in peace for thousands of years across all the century of this part of the earth. We like to see the Holy Land for all. Everybody can come and enjoy peacefully this wonderful place which is called Palestine.